I think I have a call already. Hello there. Is that Zeus?
Hello, that's Zeus again, number
Zeus
one.
again. How you doing, man?
I'm doing great. I just want to thank you for everything. I want to thank Princess Balogun as well. And my brother African Wahala. You guys are doing amazing. You guys touching my heart in a deeper spot. And I appreciate you all.
Thanks, man.
Fantastic job you guys are doing. Any way I can support, I will do that.
Please.
You know, maybe one of these days I'll introduce some of your people, some of the people into my clinic too. I can do that work for free. But I just want to tell you that I'm so grateful for what you're doing.
Thanks.
Let's talk about Nigeria for now for a minute. I don't want to waste too much time. We if you think about what we did in Liberia and Sierra Leone, we spent over $13 billion just for that insurgency that we did. We lost so many soldiers and we lost so many money. And again, there's no way Nigeria is going to go because we're following the foreign expatriates that are trying to conquer and invade Africa. And this is not how we show our brotherly love. It's not to go kill our brothers. It's not right. And we don't even have the amount or the money yet. We're servicing our debts and everything. We're not going to go into a war like that. I mean, what is trying to happen in Africa has changed. What they're not doing practicing democracy. They're practicing what I call like autocracy. They're over there putting their puppets in. I don't know if Africa has any base in Europe or America, but they have their bases all across Africa. They even have a drone base in Niger where they're gonna spy anything we're doing and all those stuff. These people are not there for us. They're there for themselves.
Yeah.
So whatever we're doing right now with this government, it's not for the sake of Africa. They're doing it for the sake of the imperialists, the ones that really did us wrong. And I don't know what's gonna happen, but I just want a system where one day we all can sit on the table and decide if we want to continue this train or not. It's not working. Nigeria is a project. It started with a Niger company, and I would say it's like a business. It's not working for us. We, the people, have to stand up and say, either we're moving forward with this stuff or we're going to end it and have that important discussion. My ego, I just want that's the little word I want to say, but thank you so much. I always number one now.
Now you are. I mean,
I love you.
Keep it at that. It's been on the road. I have another caller. Hello there.
Hello, my ego. Good evening.
Good evening to you, sir.
Yeah, how are you doing today? Is Ifai?
Oh, sorry, I was like multitasking here. How are you doing tonight too?
Yeah, I'm very fine, thank you. How are you?
Well, I'm well. Thanks for asking. You're live. Go on.
Please, thank you for the charity jobs. One thing I know with people who do, one thing I know is that everything is connected to everything. Whoever does good definitely will get rewarded one way or the other. That's one thing I believe in. Thank you very much.
Thanks, man.
Whenever you drop the Nigeria account, I will try and check for it.
That will be brilliant. I'm going to ask for it soon. Anyway, people are already asking me. So yeah, go on. Tonight.
Yeah, my first travel, the first time I left Nigeria was 29 September 2011. Do you know how much I bought $3,000? I bought $3,000. I bought $3,000 450,000 at Oka. I think it was sold at 150 naira that time per dollar. $3,000. I bought it 450,000 naira. 11 years after. That is like 2023. We are now 11, 12 years after. The same amount of money is now what, about 2.8 million naira. Nobody's worried. So people know this fact now, and they are sharing money at Abuja. And the most painful thing I saw this evening, Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala, of all people. But do you remember what I used to tell you? That the politicians are not the problem. The problem is those smart people in the middle class. They are very, very few. But they are the ones that are tolerating all these things. How can Ngozi Okonjo, she knows this man is demanding legitimacy, and she went there to give it to him. That's the only thing she went there to do. There's nothing like economic team or any other. She only went there to give him that legitimacy. ahead. She only went there to give him legitimacy. Because even if you listen to her, she was saying it's not an official visit.
Yeah.
It's not an official visit. She just went there on her own to give him legitimacy. So the middle class they are the main problem. The politicians are not even the problem. Those ones are just pure criminals. Everybody knows that. So the middle class, and then you look at the list of the judges. Now I'm beginning to see the things you are seeing. Did you see the last profile? The profile for the last judge says he has not
Mohammed or something like that one last
yes,
one.
Yes. They said he has not had any serious case before,
no.
And you are giving him the most serious case this country has ever seen. This is the most serious of them all. So he's going to begin his case with something as serious as this particular
they
case.
Can do experiments.
So you are now saying that in the whole northern and southern Nigeria, there is no other experienced judge in appeal court that would have replaced that young man. Mayego, what do you think? Are you saying there is no judge again?
I decided Nigerians to let all of you know them. So if you are asking me again, you are throwing it back at me. So that means you are going to come back to what I have already said, that I don't have any faith in them. But again, I decided to let all of you see them and then be the judge. You have been the first one to talk about them, so I would like to know others too.
It's a very terrible something. But just like I usually say, Nigeria is just one Supreme Court judgment away for explosion, or we know if we are going back to do the real thing. Because if they say P2B has won, then somebody like me is going to be like, then what's going to happen now? Then if they say Tinubu has won, I won't be surprised. But then everybody knows that we don't know where we'll go from there.
Well, maybe
so thank you very much.
That's what we all do. We hold people down for a month or two, hoping that
one Supreme Court judgment away. Exactly. Whatever the Supreme Court decides now determines a lot of things in Nigeria, a whole lot of things. That judgment, because people can't hold on to this anymore now. It's no longer normal. And now,
have you noticed?
I'm also beginning.
Have you noticed that it seems that people have decided to move on?
People have decided.
And all of the, I'm not talking about the waiting on judiciary. I'm talking about all this scholarship thing.
Normally,
people have sort of decided to just move on. Nobody knows what's going to happen next. It's like they just,
yes, exactly. Do you know that in 2012, Nigeria occupied Junta because petrol was sold at how much? Did you remember the price of petrol?
87.
Did you know? Then dollar was at 108 that particular period. When we occupied Junta, when dollar was at 180, today dollar is going to sell at 1,000 in less than 40 days.
Dollar is over 900 naira to a
think about it, Mayegu.
1,200 naira to a pound.
Nobody wants to occupy your Jota anymore.
Eh?
That's what I'm saying. I'm not going to occupy your Jota. Nobody wants to occupy your Jota anymore. And the incumbent president, the one that is now calling himself president, was in the front line the day they did that to occupy your Jota. And today he's the president. It is at 900 and something. Nobody's kind of worried. And I'm beginning to, and the politicians are just having a field day. Can you imagine Ababio on camera telling you that he is, my God, Mayegu, please. It's horrible.
Like, what are you guys going to do other than to complain? You just complain anyway. What are you going to do about it?
And the complaint. All right.
Good night. Okay. I mean, if you are still watching, you can still like the broadcast, by the way, right? Hello there.
Hello, my.
Hello, sir. How are you?
I'm very well. Hold on, let me just mute the system.
Mute the broadcast. Thank you.
Okay, just 1 minute, sir. Okay, right. Good evening. All right. I'll try and be as brief as possible so that you can speak to as many people as you can. Right. Okay. When I've been thinking lately that America might be behind all the wala throughout the world. America might be pulling their string everywhere to cause instability. Because especially for Democrats, their history, they're dirty people. Even from about 200 years ago, they've always been like this. This is who they are, So my thing is, could these people be supporting Tinubu because they know that when we have a stable government in Nigeria, it does not serve their purpose. Could it be what we are looking at?
Yeah, you know, what happened is that I just keep wondering if that theory is, I mean, it's sad because if Nigeria is stable economically, they will profit too. They will make a lot of money. You get what I mean? Like everything is like, you know, traded according to their value, right? Nigerians are in Nigeria, they are prospering. Foreigners are coming in to make their deals, getting all their stuffs. Everybody is fine. Like, you know,
okay. Let me go.
You know, that's what I'm trying to get at.
Okay,
like, you know.
Okay. Let me go further and touch the one that that goes with the economic gain. They will, you know, there is if anybody, I mean, maybe in Africa, I don't know, maybe they don't understand this. There is a real threat to our existence as humans. The people that be, the powers that be, think that we're overpopulated. So it serves their best purpose to create war in order to cut down an overpopulation. Now, my fear is Putin. They would drive him to desperation one day. He's going to press that nuclear button, and half of the world is going to go. That's a grim path that is facing us. One day it will just happen. Maybe some of us will be in our sleep. Maybe some of us will be just waking up, and half of the population will go.
It's just something good to say. You know what I mean? Like,
it's not just something, but
if everything just at least dead people know they dead. So we just be like, you know what?
Yeah, exactly. Just reach them. They think they've got their plans, they've got all their bunkers, and those bunkers, I saw one of them, it was like a whole city, you know, deep down. Okay, look at what is destruction, all the rubbish they're telling us now. There is they are aliens. Aliens really exist, you know, all those words, you know. So I think in the grand scheme of things, we are dealing with much more bigger demons that we think we are dealing with. Tinubu is just a scratch. I think they are backing him now, you know, for their own selfish ends, and that's why they are telling us that yes, we do have information on him, but we can't release it now. You know? So I'll not be, like you always been warning, that I will not be surprised with what the judges will come up one day. Maybe they are going to announce this time at 3 a.m. in the morning or 2 a.m. in the morning, God knows. But I'm not expecting the best and all that. But the thing is that
you know that there's nothing that's beyond them, nothing they can do.
Exactly. And unfortunately, our youth have been dumped down mentally. This is not to insult anybody, but that's a fact. Every youth who is ready to go out there, who is ready to die, because revolution is what we need. But these people have known that, listen, nobody's coming out to die. The soldiers are all cowards. Yeah, if there's a soldier hearing me now, yes, I'm talking to you. You're all cowards and all that. You know, you remain there. Somebody is paying you just £65 for the whole month, and they are being paid about up to $60,000 every month, plus the corruption, plus the side corruption that is upon it and all that. You cannot do anything. You know, so let us just be there and be waiting until you guys are ready.
The time is taking. That's what I tell people, right? When you feel like, what should we do? Right? What should we do now? And then you see others that are saying, oh, what should we do? Everybody's turning to themselves, what should we do? What can we do? Don't worry, right? Time will tell that all of us will know what to do, and we're going to agree. And that is revolution.
Let me just address my IPOB brothers and my Yoruba Nation brothers. Please. They are not going to give you information. They are not going to give you any Biafra. No. If you want it, you've got to go, like Tinubu said, you got to go and grab it yourself. You got to listen. It's not a matter of being gone and all that. We have to be prepared to die. That's just a grim fact about the whole thing. See, Akpabio, I mean, when you see all those things that is just going on, they're just taking a piece. It's painful, very, very painful. But for you to do, I now see what Shuere has been talking about. Okay, in conclusion, the gentleman in Kwara State that we just give him money to. Can we look at the possibility of maybe, I don't know what the medical prognosis will be in order to see if one can get him a prosthetic legs, Because since he says he wants to go back to work.
Look into that because it's been kind of muted already. Like people are saying things like, well, they could get that for him. We could get him this or that. And he himself began to say, he started saying that, well, I would be so much grateful.
Yeah, he wants to go back to work. There's nothing wrong with his hands, which is fantastic. I like his spirit. I mean, I was so touched that day and all that. I'm so happy seeing the smile. You know, that is the essence of humanity, seeing the smile on the face. And lastly, what will you? People asking for money on the channel while the program is going on. I think you need to tell them if anybody wants any help. We're not shy to help people here. Because we don't know who is who. They should go through the Yoruba Union if you need any help. I don't think it's a nice thing asking people individually to give you money while the program is running, because there are a lot of scammers here. So that's all I've got to say this evening.
Thank you so much, brother. Thank you. I appreciate this. All right. We share all the necessary information at the right time. I just had to give us the updates. I'm trying to bring Mr. Lukman himself. I'm thinking of bringing him over here, like join us live from Ilorin, so that we can actually have a chat with him. But I'm planning to bring the leaders of the union as well onto the program, so we can have one before the weekend. And it's going to be a fundraiser too. So you might need to bring your checkbook when you're joining that program. I'm joking. Hello there.
Good evening, Michael. How are you?
Good evening. Is that Charm?
It's Charm. Yes,
yeah,
it's
Charm. Lovely. How you doing? You're still in you're still in the UK, yeah?
Yeah, I'm still in the UK. I'm still here for about.
You are enjoying us, right? Okay.
I don't know about enjoyment. The weather is very, very British at the moment.
It is very British. That's brilliant. So yeah, you are back tonight. Sorry, go on, man.
Yes, I was just going to say, almost seems like the same sequence of people that called the last time I called. And it's really, really funny. It almost seems like we're the only ones getting through. I'm going to try and be really, really quick. I didn't even plan to call in today. I just wanted to listen. Yes, I just wanted to listen to the whole, the whole show. But I wanted to respond to something you said that the previous caller, he said, he talked about the possibility that Tinubu is being supported by the West in order to cause instability in the region. And then you responded by saying that, well, if there's instability in the region, that doesn't really work for them, right? No, but that's not true. It works best for them, because if you think about
I'm just thinking that the overflow of refugees in that region and all that.
I understand what you're saying. I understand what you're saying, that when there's instability in the country, then there will be excess people looking to settle, move
to the West.
Into the West, basically, or any other developed country. That's one way to look at it. But another way to look at it is, what is the reason? What is the reason why France is going through all this trouble? Resources, and Africa is a resource-rich continent. And what they've always wanted to do is to be able to have access to our resources without paying a fair price, or without paying any price at all. Now, in the last two shows that we watched, you talked about how the contract between the country Niger and France states the uranium is sold at $11, but then France goes out and sells the same uranium for over $200 and something.
That's right.
Right now, another thing, because I've been slowly following the whole Niger issue. So it's not as if the soldiers were not able to clear out the rebellion that is going on there. But once they start and they're making progress, the politicians in power tell them to pull back.
That's right.
Right? Why do they has anyone ever thought, why do they tell them to pull back? Because the politicians and the so-called rebels are all in on it. They also get to mine these resources at the back door. They also get to sell the illegally mined uranium to the same France. But guess what? France is not going to pay the country that illegally mined uranium, because it didn't come through the country through the legal means.
No.
Okay? So they're making money in so many ways. Now, if the continent remains unstable, what that allows them to do is to have access to the country without anybody really paying attention, without us really, it's like, look this way while I do this other thing. Right? The last caller talked about, aliens and all of that business. Now, they all brought about the whole alien story. Mm-hmm. Meanwhile, you had the Hunter Biden investigation, which people said if they had actually agreed that Hunter Biden investigation was the real thing, it might have affected the outcome of their elections.
Yeah. Yep.
Maybe Biden wouldn't have won. But the same strategy, look this way. Look at all of this headline about UFOs and this, and yeah, they're paying attention. Meanwhile, this other thing is going on to distract you. So it's the same strategy here. We have all the, what's it called? The Igbos and Yorubas, they pitted us against one another and all of that business. Look here, look at all of these things happening while something else is going on. So that's the same strategy. So if this region remains unstable, it's easier for them to come in. It's easier for them to tell the story that, we're going to go and rescue Africa once again. And they are here. Yeah, we're going to peace mission. We're going to go and rescue them because they don't know how to rescue themselves. We're going to go and save them because they don't know how to save themselves.
All of the resources of Africa that they say they are still undervalued will be looted. Like,
they will be looting
unhindered.
it. Those are the places where, exactly, unhindered, unchallenged, nothing. Because guess what? We are trying to save ourselves. So our minds are not even there. So those are where their soldiers will be, where the resources are, where they can have access to it, where they can tap it without anybody telling you anything. Nobody even raising a voice. Samuel Doe, I remember when Samuel Doe was killed, right? I was in secondary school at the time. Then all the whole news was about how his people didn't like him and all of that. Now, when as an older person, the story really was Samuel Doe challenged the price of the resource that America was collecting for almost for free. They didn't want that, and they killed him. Okay, so again, I just wanted to respond to that.
Do you know that they've carried out 50 different, either through assassination, coup, or change of government in Africa in the last 60 years?
Of course. I watch a lot of programs, right? And art imitates life. A lot of things they do here, they cause instability in the country so that they can infiltrate the country and come into the country under the guise of, humanitarian missions and this and that and the other. And then they steal the resources. These people want to be able to have access to our resources without paying a fair price for it, without giving us what we are supposed to get.
You know what they said that attracted some of these African countries to Russia? Russia is offering them sovereignty, like real one, right? It was telling them that keep your resources. If we need any to get from you, we can help you negotiate their sale all over the world. It's yours. It's, you know what I mean? Like, control your this, control your that, make your choices. These are things that France never offered them. Like, see, not
exactly. France relies on uranium for for its energy needs. Now you're taking uranium from a country. You never want to stop that. You will teach them how to use the same uranium for their own energy needs. That they have to rely on a country like Nigeria for 70% of their electricity, for goodness sake. No roads, no hospital, no nothing. And you want to be free to carry on. And that's why I said the last time I called, nobody is coming to save Africa. Yes, the Russians might want to give us all of this and all of that, but nobody is coming to save it. We have to save ourselves. I really want to look forward to the day when I can take myself and my family back home, because I think that's where we truly belong, where we don't have to be told, okay, we have to accept a certain ideology in order for us to walk around and breathe freely, or that this color of my skin is a problem for you. No, we don't need any of that anymore. Right, but it is what it is at the moment. If I could fight, I would. I honestly would. Anyway, that's my contribution.
Thank you so much, Charm. Right, it's lovely to hear from you again, and you're still here anyway. So enjoy your stay. Right.
Thank you.
So Charm will be probably going back to the US once the British radar is now showing some ash signs. I believe never be as ash as that of the US anyway. So deal. Hello there.
One name.
Osita.
Okra. Okro.
Which one be that one again? Oh?
No, that one our football language. Those days I play football.
Right. Yeah. Is that something good?
Yeah, it's something good. When they say okra, that means finish them.
Right. It's good to hear from you again. Osita. How is it, sir?
Yeah, it's all good. It has been a beautiful day.
Class.
So
you are joining the chat as well tonight. So
did
you join us from the beginning or midway as
I did. I joined from
okay,
the
brilliant.
beginning.
So,
actually, today is my day off. Anyway.
Okay,
Yeah.
please go for it.
You know, in this particular chapter, this brouhaha happening in Africa today, I think this is where me and our dear Princess Balogun we align together whenever we talk about this thing. The truth to the matter, the West has always used propaganda, not necessarily by guns or anything. They don't really fight wars. When they want to get things, they use propaganda. And when they use that propaganda, they find a means of dividing their adversaries. If you look at what is happening between them and China, what the Chinese are trying to do is not to get them to penetrate into their country, because if they do, they will literally break you. They will come with an issues of, oh, human rights. You are not accepting human rights. Oh, human right that, human right this. Especially in America, even you don't have human rights organizations that work. Or like in Europe, maybe when things goes on, you just go and get human rights organization. They will come to your aid immediately. They will start protesting. But here, it doesn't work that way. You can go to Europe, for example, and you seek asylum, that, oh, something is pursuing you in Africa, and they will answer you. Here, it doesn't happen that way. So what they use is propaganda. And the two most dangerous organizations in the history of mankind, I am sorry to say, the CIA and the KGB. The CIA, Russian, the US.
American, yeah?
Yes. They are competing who is the worst. And probably the Chinese have forgotten their own. The Chinese has joined them. So all these things you are seeing is clash of ideology, which it takes 40 years in their world, in the world of this security organization. It takes them 40 years to build up an ideology, an idea. As it is right now, the ideology of the West is crashing, is crumbling. But the question we'll have to ask ourselves, how do we crush that ideology? It is by the people agreeing. I appeal to Africa. We are the ones. When they said where two elephants, they fight. The grass is the one that suffers. We are the grass and we are the ones suffering it. They allowed the Asians to escape. In the 18th, whatever, I can't remember, the 18th something, when they made their Berlin Resolution, that is when they distributed the world, how the world order is going to look like. The America and the British, they took control of the Middle East and Asia. While they left, this is the reason we are crying France, France, France. No, they left France for Africa. The French, the Dutch, including the Germans, the
Italians, the Portuguese. I was so shocked when I realized so many interests that are actually in Niger. We are all saying France, 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 because France takes the largest share, but they are actually many in this region.
So they
Italians too. I was hearing Belgians too. So I was hearing German. I was like, really? So it's like, it's crawling with all these guys from all these places.
Yes, they ceded Africa to those ones in Europe. But the British, if you look at it in Africa, the biggest hold that the British have blocked is Nigeria and South Africa. Zimbabwe, they don't have much time. The reason is like, the reason they did all those things is for them to barricade us, give us walls, and give us borders.
And
because the more
borders in Africa, I don't even know when they're going to clean that up. If
they don't, do you know that actually they don't even know the size of Africa? This thing they are talking about, that Africa is this, Africa is that. They don't know the size of Africa, how big Africa is. So at the end of the day, they do this thing for their own selfish gains. When you look at, when they talk about this uranium, they will tell you that Canada has the largest deposit of uranium. Then why are you guys not buying from Canada? Why are you buying from Africa?
Like, why is Canada? Do you know how many Canadian companies that are drilling resources in this part of Africa too? I was shocked when I got the numbers. I was like, what?
My brother,
Canada,
the reason,
in Africa. Now they're all declaring sanctions. Now they are all sanctioning Niger. Now even Canada, they sanction Niger, but they sanction Nigeria. I was like, what is Canada's business? Of course.
So the reason they tell you that Canada has the largest amount of the reserve of the uranium is just that so that you don't feel too important. Even they know you have more, but they don't want you to feel too much important that, oh, you have much uranium that they do have. So my question is, why are they not buying from Canada?
Somebody said it's because Canadian resources is reserved for the future. Let's extract everywhere first. America is one of the highest oil producer in the world, but you will never read it anywhere that America is oil producer. It's always America is the biggest oil producer. They are supposed to be. America is also the biggest oil buyer in the world. They are buying everything from everywhere, storing them all over the place to claim.
Why are they not in? Why are they not a member of OPEC?
You know.
So So the reason you are seeing all these things. Yes. The reason why you're seeing all these things, which brings me to that thing I keep saying. I used to think education was the problem before. But since about 2 weeks ago, I started thinking about it. The problem Africa has is we have too much respect for elders. These same failures that we call elders, we have too much respect for them.
Even when they are
failing. Will tell you, yes, even when they are failing. Because it's until we can say the truth how it is, even if it is your dad you are talking to, your biological father that you're talking to, if you can stand to him and tell him the truth that this thing is not the way it's supposed to be, they will keep telling us, don't you have elders? Don't you want to grow old? Don't you? And that is what has kept us the way we are. If you look at it, every pattern that we have followed, I pray to that guy in South Africa that guy should stay alive for some time. Julius Malema. The guy has really caused them a lot of problems. Another person is Professor Malumba. This people's speech has really opened the eyes of the youths in Africa. And that is the reason we are pushing back. The Russians, the Chinese have been watching different programs. I understand. The truth about the Russians and the Chinese is that they want something from you. They don't dictate to you how you are going to spend the money. They will ask you, you want schools to be built, right? Then this is what we want. You negotiate. But the West doesn't have that for us. The West, they rather do the thing they did in Saudi Arabia when they discovered oil, crude oil. They'll tell them, oh, let us give you, they gave them $2 billion to establish that Emirates that you are seeing today. But at the end of the day, the reason they are not getting it right anymore was because a young radical boy came up. And today he rules that country. And he has seen a lot of things and he is willing to take his chances. The only remedy to this thing is that the youths of Africa or the people of Africa, I am telling people, if they want to kill us, let them kill us. But we have to do this. We have to carry out a revolution, not just in Nigeria, but that revolution has to be an African revolution. And I am warning Tinubu or whatever. If you think you can support these people and bring in some idiot, some lunatic, and say, oh, these people are going to fight as rebels. If you think it's going to be like that, that thing is going to enter Nigeria. He himself will run away from Nigeria and stay in France. That is the thing he doesn't understand. And that is the thing that they refuse to understand, because the largest population in the whole of Africa resides in that particular region, including Nigeria. So when it starts, I will know who is going to take up the refugees. Thank you, my brother.
Osita, thanks a lot, all right? You have a good one. I am going to take another call. Oh, I've already done that anyway. So, hello there.
Yes, sir, Mr. Mayuri.
How you doing, sir?
Hello?
Yeah.
Okay. How are you? So, Air Force One.
That's Air Force One.
Yes, sir.
Baba Adeo, and you are live, please.
All right. So, what a perplexing, so go a perplexing story of a perplexing show.
Oh, join. Depends on which lens you are using to watch this, you know. Depends.
Yeah, it's a perplexing situation. It's not your show. I take that back. So, see, Okonjo. You know exactly what you said, how you analyze that visit of Okonjo. It's the same thought that I had when I saw that thing on Instagram. And the funniest thing is this: Nigeria, they already started commenting. Nigeria coming must be good. Thank God, Okonjo is here. Okonjo is that. Okonjo is, oh God. Yeah. See, now there's one thing about your show, okay, that it's renewal of the mind. Renewal of the mind, that is, it's renewing people's mind. Highly informative and, like changing the mindset of people. And that's what I said, exactly what I thought. And the only way I was able to think that way is because I've been following it.
Like my
the same thing you said, the way
deceived. Because if you deceive them during the day, if they begin to look like, oh, this look, once they come and watch my ego in the evening, all the lies you told them during the day will become nothing. And they begin to feel like, oh, I was almost beginning it to thank you, Jarema Yegun. If not because of you, I would have believed the lie. So, of course, my people are not easily lied to. And to that, they don't really like us for that. Like, why can't you just listen to a small lie? Why must you challenge everything? Why?
As a matter of fact, to that, kudos to your work. That is, everything you've been doing is effective.
Thank you.
All right, and it's impacting, like renewing. Because, like I said, exactly the way I thought the whole thing through is what you. If you have to be my professor and have to write the exam on analyzing that zine, it's the same thing.
Trust me, if you are very,
I'm telling you,
to add into it and you explain it that way, and I'm your professor, I'll give you
bro.
Trust me, like that.
It's the same thing. Now, but see, another caller, there was a caller that called in, the second caller that was kind of bashing her that she shouldn't have come. See, in this era, like you said the other day, that you didn't expect that tech guru guy to even accept an appointment from this kind of regime. Do you remember you said that? Okay, but see, when you are like that, Okonjo's got no choice. She doesn't have any choice. I'm telling you right now. Once you are in that game, if for example now they said they appoint me now as you have to play. You just have to, even if that smile is just right there between your lips, that's it. But you still have to bow. You still have to do it. So that's the thing. People shouldn't blame her.
Right.
She has no choice. She got to do that. Now to the Western world and
right.
Yeah, she has to do that. Now to the Western world, it's still the same old trick that they do. Okay. Now the only thing that I'm not in haste, but that is a concern that I wish probably to happen in our own generation is that maybe we will liberate ourselves from these people. Because let me tell you, you see how this rebel that they are now all of a sudden countering the people that took over.
Start hearing the boom.
Yeah.
Right, and we know where it's coming from.
It's the same thing that will happen if coups will happen in Nigeria too. People like Azari and everybody will be the one standing up. People like Azari that they've given go ahead with power and weapons. Okay, that they will attack whosoever.
Well, talking about
and once they cause
that is asking the court to remove Tinubu. Do you know that Sari mobilized his guys to that same appeal court yesterday, right? Even though there was no sitting or anything, just an act of intimidation that if Nigerians say they are going to gather
what I'm saying?
Courts, he will bring his own people.
That's what I'm saying.
I'll show you. Look at them.
See, they are rented buses.
Air Force One, they have camped them in Abuja for the past 2 days, and they're going to be there until the Supreme Court give the judgment. That's the promise.
Sir, so that's what they do. So that's what they do. So I don't know now. So we are saying that we are hoping at this time around when countries in Africa already, like standing up against all these Western people or whatever, or France or whatever, and still among us, some people are still holding back. Like counter offensive.
That's right.
I mean, that is crazy. You know what I'm saying? So, well, right. I don't know. Like I said,
Air Force One. If the price is right, brothers will sell brothers. It's just what it is. Unfortunately, that it is also still happening now. Imagine brothers selling themselves to slavery. One is saying we are leaving the slavery. Another one is saying, listen, we can bring them back to the slavery. Just give us the weapon. And now there's going to be a civil war in Niger Republic, courtesy of two brothers. They say if two brothers fight to death, nobody strangers, they inherit their land. Well, it's an African proverb.
I mean, once they destabilize the whole country, now they'll have every avenue to, embezzle and siphon all the resources. Oh, yeah. Yes, that's what they will do.
What is business?
I mean, I don't know. And look at the Senate people now, the senators. I don't even know what do they do? Like, what do they do in that parliament or whatever that building? What do they do there?
The highs have it. That's what they do. That's what they do there. The highs and the nays. And then you're like, okay, the highs have it. Is that a difficult job? Air Force One. Like you can be a speaker or Senate president. Just ask them. The highs have it. And they say, hey, the nays have it. Nay. And then you go and check your email with the token they sent to you for a happy holiday. Very easy job. Unfortunate people.
Oh my God. But this is getting bad.
It's not getting. It has already gotten bad. Now it's just that anything. Delay.
Man, but what we're going to do? Say we go phone. We are not folding hands. We are still trying to educate people.
Ask me, what are we going to do? Listen, people can't fight if they don't understand why they want to fight. More and more people are beginning to kind of, awake. Sure, you get the number may not be so much yet. But you see this failure, is piling up. And I can promise you this, and I've said this before, if they continue in this trajectory, even if you love Nigeria, that you don't want Nigeria to fight any fight, you cannot save Nigeria from what is coming. Let them continue this trajectory. Air Force One, I'll show you Bubuwa. Trust me, it's going to happen. What people don't understand is that people are thinking, maybe we can just have one Mandela or one somebody that will just say, everybody come. Nigeria has gone past that stage right now. Okay, more divided.
No, see, everybody that is even asking for Mandela, we already have Mandela, but I don't listen to Mandela.
There is nothing like that anymore.
Yeah. In the country today, we already have Mandela. People who have Mandela in nature. Okay, but they are not listening to them.
They will listen to them. Give it time. You see this trajectory. No country will go along this trajectory and survive. Air Force One. That's what I'm trying to tell you now, sir, that even if you don't want Nigeria to fight, or you don't want Nigeria to break, or you don't want Nigeria to be this or that, you cannot save Nigeria from becoming all those things you don't want it to be if Nigeria continue this way. And these guys, where they see so, they will show Nigerians that
they're going to continue.
They will continue.
Yeah, they're going to continue. Yeah, they will continue.
Give it time now. You see those ones that are still telling you that you are telling everybody to go and fight. Why don't you come and fight? Why don't you come back home? You will see some of them. They will be the first to start the fight. But a lot of them will never believe they can do what they can right now. But these guys will take all of us there. Our anger will kind of triple, quadruple, and all of that. Rage and all that. The hardship will be so much. And then guess what? The condescending attitude of these criminals will never cease. Okay? You'll be so offended. They don't share money again. These guys don't care about us. So. They don't buy another car. Oh, they don't buy another private jet. Oh, they don't, Then one day, they will burn all of that down. And it's not because people want to. They will make them do it. Air Force One, I'm only rounding up with you because
thank you, sir.
I don't want to take more calls.
Yes, sir.
My time is up.
Yes, sir. I appreciate you, man. And I appreciate your time, your platform, and everything that you're doing. It is really impacting. I saw that in me today. Oh, yeah, it is. It is. It is.
Anyway, it's been a pleasure having you as my roundup tonight. So thank you. Air Force One. That's some names. So thank you to everybody too, all of you. It's good to be back. I would have loved to probably spend more time, but my time is really, really up. So in these coming days, right, I'm going to need your help. And when I say help, I'm going to need your help for other people who need help, okay? And the way we do it on this platform is that every penny counts. And indeed, if you can, do you know that if you can change the world of one person, you've actually changed the world. You don't know. You may not be able to change the world like you probably envisage, but learn to be part of those who change the world of someone, right? And that's what we do. You can be part of that too. A lot of people who are vulnerable and they have been kind of thrown under the bus in this whole scheme of things. We have chosen humanity, and Yoruba Union is the name of our group, Karo Ojire Support Initiative. You can support us. So next time I come on here, I'm going to bring a few people up, okay? I'm going to talk about what we do, and you're going to support us as always. So thank you, at least for tonight. I'm going to see you some other time. So until then, if you are still here and you haven't really liked the broadcast, please do before you go, okay? And I will see you again. Good night.
Mayegun làwa mọ̀ làmọ̀ tó dòdòdò. Mayegun Diary Nayibi #1. Mayegun làwa mọ̀ làmọ̀ tó dòdòdò. Mayegun Diary Nayibi #1. Mayegun ti dé o ọ̀rẹ́ ara ìlú. Mayegun Diary Nayibi #1. Lórí Facebook, lórí YouTube. Mayegun Diary Nayibi #1. Gbogbo bó ṣe ń lọ ni Mayegun já wa sí. Mayegun Diary Nayibi #1. Àṣírí ọ̀jẹ̀lú kì í bò níbẹ̀ o. Mayegun Diary Nayibi #1. Bó bá ṣe eré àní Mayegun máa wí. Mayegun Diary Nayibi #1. Ó sì tún ṣe eré wàá gbọ́ níbẹ̀ o. Mayegun Diary Nayibi #1. Mayegun Diary politico. Mayegun Diary Nayibi #1. Godfatherism kò sí lọ́rọ̀ Mayegun. Mayegun Diary Nayibi #1. Ẹ farabalẹ̀ sẹ́ o kẹgọ́rọ̀ lẹ́nu o. Mayegun Diary Nayibi #1. Àní Mayegun làwa mọ̀ tó dòdòdò. Mayegun Diary Nayibi #1. Àní ẹ̀sùn rákì. Mayegun ti dé. Mayegun ti dé. Ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn rákì. Mayegun ti dé. Àní ẹ̀sùn rákì. Mayegun ti dé. Lórí Facebook. Mayegun ti dé. àní ẹ̀sùn làjù lórí YouTube àní ẹ̀sùn làjù bọ́ bàbá gbé wúrẹ́ àní ẹ̀sùn làjù ijó ìgbádìyẹ àní ẹ̀sùn làjù bí pẹ̀sìdó bá rúfin o àní ẹ̀sùn làjù bí gómìnà gbówó jẹ àní ẹ̀sùn làjù ọlọ́pàá tí ń gba rìbá àní ẹ̀sùn làjù aṣòfin tí ń rúfin o àní ẹ̀sùn làjù òkúrọ̀ olóṣèlú àní ẹ̀sùn làjù ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Máyégún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Máyégún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dèrò ní fi wọ́n níran o.
Máyégún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Máyégún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dèrò ní fi wọ́n níran.
Wọ́n fowó bẹ́ẹ̀ o Máyégún ó sọ pé wọ́n ò bẹ́ẹ̀ wọ́n fowó bẹ́ẹ̀ Máyégún ó sọ pé wọ́n ò bẹ́ẹ̀ oníkanṣá ti ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe fáwọn ará ìlú tó gbé wọn débẹ̀ o àyè.
Máyégún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Máyégún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní má ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ ò ní fi wọ́n níran.
Kì máa yí ṣe eré ọ̀rọ̀ yìí kì í ṣe ẹ̀fẹ̀. Kì máa yí ṣe eré ọ̀rọ̀ yìí kì í ṣe ẹ̀fẹ̀. Ẹni bá ti lè lẹ́bọ̀ lẹ́rù o ọmọ bá dèrò kàṣàyè tú wọn síta.
Máyégún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Máyégún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ ò ní fi wọ́n níran.
Tẹnitẹni ọmọ Máyégún ọ̀rẹ́ ara ìlú mọ̀mọ́ ni mo fọlọ́run ṣọ́ ẹ̀ bá kìlẹ́bù. Lóòótọ́ olódodo ìlú ọ̀tá ìlú mọ̀mọ́ ni ìwọ ṣá máa ń ṣọ́ra kò sì mọ́ bẹ̀rù. Bọ́tà ń lè rí bóníṣègùn lé káwọn mọ̀mọ́ fi ṣera wọn ni ó ti dẹrùn tí wọn ò gbọ́dọ̀ sè mọ́bẹ̀. Èèpo ọ̀bọ lọmọ bá dérò tàjẹ́ ò gbọ́dọ̀ jẹ́ ó ti dọba lórí àbínú ẹni kò sì mọ́ bùyà. Àìsíwọ́lu ní ẹnìkẹ́ ìgbódì ẹyin lábàrá o ó kó ẹni tó bá dán wò á kàmù. Máyégún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Máyégún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì o. Ẹni bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dèrò òní fi wọ́n níran o.
Máyégún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Máyégún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ ò ní fi wọ́n níran.